We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
Good morning from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
We have reached the end of our 14-day cruise from Barcelona. It was a very uneventful transatlantic crossing for the last 7 days of sea. What did you think of that?
A few things very, very much surprised me. I never imagined the ocean to be as calm as it is, especially in the middle of the ocean. I kind of expected like lots of waves and stuff. A lot of the times it was pretty glassy outside. It was very peaceful. So I was worried. Obviously things can get bad, but no, it was super awesome.
Yeah, we were initially concerned because Hurricane Melissa just, blew through a few days ago up towards Jamaica. And, we were crossing the North Atlantic for the first time, but it was surprisingly calm. No, we didn't get seasick at all on the transatlantic journey, which was a huge surprise to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Very pleasant surprise, though.
But overall, yeah, let's talk about the ship, our experience. It's a new ship, and I think there's a lot of good points, but there's also a lot of interesting, weird facts about this ship that I think people would like to know.
Such as?
So, they obviously had built this ship for revenue only, so be warned. If you come on the ship, there's not a lot of space in the communal areas for the amount of people that they have crammed onto the ship. I think what is the passenger hold is
4,300 passengers.
And they quite often would have like events in places like such as like the Princess Live. I'm not a cruiser, so if you're a cruiser, you probably know there's always like communal areas that they do like game shows and stuff. It was very surprising to us to find out how tiny a lot of those like communal areas were and how poorly laid out they were.
Yeah, that's fair. The Princess Arena, the Piazza, where all the activities in the center of the ship are held. Princess Live, where all the, a lot of the game show and trivia, things are held. All of these spaces were pretty much at capacity all the time. If we were at one of the arena shows, the show would end and people would be streaming out of there before they even, did the final curtain, call basically, and before the applause even died down, people were streaming out of there, racing to the next venue just so they could get seats at the Princess Live for the next game show or whatever it was, and it always felt super crowded, super rushed. There was never any place quiet to be able to just sit and relax. Even up in the dome, which theoretically should have been a nice quiet space at the front of the ship, seemed like there was always something going on. Whether it was a choir practice or other events or music blaring, something was always resulting in a lot of noise. If you haven't figured that out by now, watching our videos, we're not big fans of that. We like our peace and quiet. We like to be able to just unwind and relax. And so honestly, we spent a lot of time just in our stateroom. Luckily, we had a deluxe balcony room, and the balcony at least was, for the most part, nice and quiet most days.
Yeah, I think that's probably my biggest complaint on the ship as a whole. Working out in the gym, good luck on finding a spot.
Always crowded, yeah.
Always crowded, and it was really small for the amount of people that were on the ship. That was just really shocking. Every time we kind of like were up on the main deck to relax, kind of like what he said, there was always something really loud going on.
Like on the Lido deck, yeah, there was, either some sort of activity or event or a movie playing or music playing. So there's always something going on, which if you're into that, then you're gonna love, cruising. Cory's mom found a good deal on this cruise, and it was family time. We hadn't seen Cory's family in over a year, and so that's really what we spent the bulk of the last 2 weeks doing, is a lot of just hanging out, playing card games, that sort of thing.
Visiting.
Yeah, and just visiting. And, we actually didn't film hardly anything these last 2 weeks, which is, kind of a nice change of pace, not having to carry the GoPro around.
Yeah. I mean, that was always the intent. We were never going to carry the GoPro around. We were intending to do a lot of family time, so that's what we did.
Now, what did you like about the ship?
I liked the simplicity and the luxury. After being in Airbnbs for so long, it was just pure luxury. There's clean bathrooms everywhere. There's places to wash your hands. There's somebody taking care of your room. There's always food. Always. Like, you don't have to think about it. My options were actually pretty decent for the most part. Like, I didn't really have to try too hard to find decent food. So I'm going to say that was a win.
If you are not gluten-free, then you have nothing to worry about. There is lots of food available all the time in multiple locations around the ship. So lots of choices, and honestly, better food than I expected, or from what I remembered from our first cruise with Princess 13 years ago when we did the Alaska cruise. So that was a very nice surprise. The other thing that I loved about the ship, the crew. Everyone, always a smile, always a hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As you go by, everyone's super helpful, super accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, our cabin steward, was awesome. She was just, wonderful. Our servers in the main dining room, Pedro and Melina, were incredible. Linda, in the main buffet area every morning, was just super pleasant and really fun to talk to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can't say enough. The crew really does make for an amazing experience overall, and the crew on this ship was fantastic.
Yeah, I can't even begin to give my gratitude to the crew, because even if we didn't know them personally, they were just so pleasant and so sweet.
Yeah.
So they have a hard job, guys. So tip them well.
And just be nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times throughout the cruise that we saw people just, I don't know what it is. There's a lot of entitlement on ships like this. A lot of people just being rude, being mean, being disrespectful. And you know what? That's not necessary. These guys do such a great job. They work so hard, working 11, 12 plus hour days. And they do it with a smile pretty much all the time. So you know what? If you're nice to them, I feel like it just makes for a much better journey overall. Would you must add?
100% agree. The adventures that we had on Gibraltar and the Azores were really cool. And Mallorca, we actually managed to make all our port calls, so we're grateful for that. We're able to get off the ship.
Yeah, there were only 3 of them on this journey, so definitely good that we didn't have to miss any of them due to weather delays or anything like that. But yeah, I think at this point today, we are disembarking this morning here in Fort Lauderdale, and we've got a couple nights in Fort Lauderdale before we turn around and get on another cruise ship. So I think
which is also going to be a lot of family time. So it's a Caribbean cruise, and we have quite a few protocols, so we'll see what we get up to. We do not have any excursions planned or anything like that, so there may be videos, there may not be.
Probably not. But
we will see.
There'll be at least one video. Well, this video will take you guys with us when we board. But I think that's going to be it for right now because it is an absolute mess on the ship this morning. People everywhere trying to disembark, and it's quite chaotic. So we are just going to relax for a little bit here while we still can, and then take you guys with us as we leave the Star Princess.
As expected, it's a bit of a mess getting off the ship. We waited till pretty much the latest possible moment to disembark so we wouldn't have to wait for a hotel room too long, but it is busy down here as we go through immigration.
Yeah, she needs to be.
That's Cory's parents.
Alright, welcome to Fort Lauderdale. We've made it to our hotel and we are at the Comfort Suites Fort Lauderdale Airport South and Cruise Port Hotel. We are in a king room and yeah, it's, you know what, for 2 nights it'll definitely do. Just off the entryway, we've got our bathroom. It's pretty big and clean, it'll do. We do have a room that can adjoin with the next room over there if needed. We've got, looks like a microwave, some coffee, does not open, mini fridge, and a pretty big room, honestly. We've got a nice couch, we've got a desk, we've got a big TV, lots of storage space, king-size bed, a relatively noisy AC unit, but you know what? It's blowing nice and cold, and there is a closet in here with a safe in it. So yeah, for the 2 nights we're in Fort Lauderdale, this will do just fine.
Yeah, it's a couple days later. We've been in this hotel for what, 2 days now?
2 nights.
There's nothing really exciting about it. It literally is in an industrial or like a very shopping center heavy area. There's not a lot of walking places or anything. We found a sandwich shop like a block away.
Yeah, it's all strip malls, so it's very car centric. Without a vehicle, it's really hard to get too far from here. It's not all that walkable. There's not too many crosswalks for the big street that's right next to the hotel. But yeah, luckily there was a really good little sandwich shop a block away that we've basically had most of our meals at as well as the rest of our traveling party. And you know, really good sandwiches. Probably the best the best Philly cheesesteak that I've had in years.
So today we are getting on the Island Princess, and our group, some went home and our group has grown. We've had quite a few join us, so now we're a group of 26. 29.
29.
So we are about to get on the shuttle to go to the cruise port. It's like 10:30 in the morning, so we have till like 3 o'clock before the ship sets sail. And yeah, we'll show you what the Island Princess is all about.
And for the next 14 days, we are doing, I believe, an Eastern Caribbean cruise. So we're going to be hitting, I think, 7 or 8 different Caribbean islands. And yeah, this should be good. Weather looks like it's good now. Yep. Hurricane Melissa's blown away, and looks like we have clear weather ahead of us.
So let's go.
Okay, well, that was a lot more of a mess getting on board today than we expected. Definitely compared to the last experience getting on the Star Princess, but we are on board the Island Princess now, and we're in room E625, which is a balcony room, and so far, yeah, looks pretty good. It's definitely an older ship, but it's pretty decent. And also, we've been on this ship before, though last time it was an inside cabin, so this is definitely an upgrade for us. When you come in, you've got a big open closet space, lots of room for your bags and hanging your clothes, as well as the bathroom, which is a little small. We've got a shower, just a little shower curtain there, toilet, sink. Not as nice as the Star Princess, but it'll definitely do. Queen size bed. So the one thing we don't have is a couch this time, but we do have a desk here to work from. We've got a nice big TV. We've got a mini fridge. And a nice balcony with, right now, a view of the port here in Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Hello. So you guys are 6:30. We just finished up a workout in the gym because it's our embarkation day. It was really quiet down there, which was great. Before that, we had a muster drill, emergency muster drill, which, as it turns out, once every 6 months, ships are required to do a full drill where everyone actually has to assemble in the muster stations. So today we got lucky and had to do that. Waited forever, and then there was a communication issue with the ship, so they weren't able to complete the drill anyways, which was a big waste of time. At any rate, it's about 4:15 right now in the afternoon, and it looks like we are underway. We are slowly moving out of Terminal 29 here at Port Everglades. It's 2 days later? Yeah, 2 days later. It's our second sea day here as we make our way to St. Martin. And today we thought we'd show you guys around the ship a little bit. We're currently on deck 14 all the way forward, and we're just gonna go through the dining room and show you, this is the Horizon Court dining room, which is the main buffet, and just gonna do a quick lap through and show you guys what that looks like. It's really crowded in there. It's lunchtime right now, so we're not gonna actually do any talking, or probably not be able to show you too much detail because it's really crowded right now.
So with the buffet, you can see that there is hand wash stations before you enter, which I absolutely love.
Agreed, and they're doing a really good job of encouraging people to wash their hands every time before they go in, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and one thing that I really like about this buffet compared to the Star is the layout. There's a lot more walking space in between the food and the seating area, and it's not as narrow, so you have a little bit more time to like browse and not feel like you're in the way.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as crowded, even though relatively, I'm sure, there's just as many people in that amount of space. But it does feel like it's a little more open, and I also do like the seating area because we're all the way forward on one of the upper decks. You've got a really expansive view out the front of the ship.
Yeah, so as far as food-wise, the options on either side of the buffet are identical, and I would say the variety is less than the Star, but I mean that's kind of obvious because this is a smaller ship, so they're not going to be offering as much. Gluten-free, they have enough to offer, so you're not gonna go hungry, and the staff are very well educated in gluten-free, so I feel safe eating on board.
For the regular food, non-gluten-free food, the variety is decent. Some of it is pretty good, some of it's not as good. I mean, it's normal with a buffet, they're not all going to be winners. I'd say overall, I found the quality of the food in the buffet to be better on the Star Princess than here on the island, but so far so good, no big complaints. As you can tell, it's really loud here. We're on deck 14, just aft of the Horizon Court Buffet. Behind me is the pizzeria, where there's pizza available pretty much all day, as well as one of the bars here. And then the pool is just that way, behind Cory right now. And so up here on deck 15, forward, there's another, I guess, grill restaurant where they do burgers, fries, hot dogs, that sort of thing, as well as yet another bar, which at the moment again is very busy. And from here we're going to go forward just a little bit to the front of the ship, and I think there's like a kids splash pool up there. We'll go take a look, and then we'll work our way aft. We're gonna head up to 16 and see if we can find the splash pool. Interesting. Doesn't look like it's open right now. So, as you can see, the outdoor pool deck area, very, very busy. Also, they've got the big screen up there, and they're currently showing a football game, but they do movies under the stars out there as well. You get blankets and popcorn and sit out under the stars in the loungers and watch movies all night if you want. And we've gone aft a little bit. We're still on 15 at the moment. Below me you can see the second pool, and this is the covered indoor pool area, so it's very warm and humid in here right now, but you can kind of have a look down and see what that looks like. Gonna head back up to 16 here at the aft of the ship. And up here we've got a multi-use area. This looks like pickleball slash basketball hoops. And then there's shuffleboard, and it looks like a giant chess set back there. They're weighted with water so they don't fly off the ship because it's pretty windy. Down below us right now, you can see at the aft section of deck 15 is the sanctuary area, which we don't have access to. You have to book one of the sanctuary suite rooms in order to access this, and it's basically a more private area with some loungers, probably a bar, and I'm not sure if they have their own like jacuzzi tubs and stuff back there as well. But so by the secondary pool here on deck 14, there's Swirl's Ice Cream Bar, where they do soft serve ice cream as well as the premium ice cream desserts that you can get if you have one of the Princess Plus or Premier packages. And just like the main pool, the smaller pool also has a bar here if you need some beverages while you're lounging. Near the aft section of deck 14, we've got the Lotus Spa here, as well as the Teen Center, which we'll go poke into and have a quick look. Not gonna lie, the Teen Center looks awesome, and there's only 4 teenagers on this ship, so the staff there have a pretty easy time for these 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a really cool hangout spot, and honestly, if we needed a place that was quiet and just looking to chill, we'd probably just sneak in there. I don't think she'd be too upset.
Foosball, air hockey, skee ball, like
couches,
yeah.
So you can like lounge and read and everything. So it's a really cool spot. We are now down on deck 7. These floors, deck 7, 6, they have like the majority of activities going on. So this is the area that you kind of want to hang out in. And as you can see, it's a lot classier than even the Star Princess. It's got really beautiful art, and it's got really wide walkways, which is something that we're really enjoying. First up is the Crown Grill. We ate there on the Star Princess. It's a steakhouse. It's got really good food, but it also does cost. So it is an extra cost if you do not have the package. We did have the package on the Star Princess. We do not have it on this one. So we will not be enjoying it this round. And they do have a lot of activities going on board. I think this is golf or putt-putt, mini golf, I'm not sure. But yeah, as you can see, they're quite enjoying themselves. There you go. Behind me is Sabatini's, which is an Italian restaurant. We did not personally eat there, but my family did on the other ship, and it was absolutely delicious. And also, that is an extra cost. This area is the piazza. The other ship, it was not quite as classy. This one's very classy and very beautiful and ornate, as you can see. It is so old school that they do have a cigar room. Unfortunately, it does smell like smoke in here, so that's a very unfortunate thing, but it gives you somewhere to enjoy your cigars. This is the Wheelhouse Bar. And I think it's just like a traditional bar. It looks like a lounge area. You can come and just chill out. They probably have events running in here quite often.
So I'm gonna
So another thing that I really like about the ship is due to the wide areas of walking, they do have some really good lounge areas by the windows as you go. Also, another thing that is really awesome is that on the outer deck of this level 7, you can walk all the way around the ship outside. Behind me is the Princess Theater. I think it looks a lot classier and it's better layout so that compared to the Star, you're actually in front of the stage, whereas the Star kind of wrapped around the stage and a lot of times you miss the performance. Here, it's laid out like a regular theater.
Officers, are you ready? Yes. Guests, are you ready? Yes. Let's make it rain in 3, 2, 1. No points for anybody. Forward, guests. Forward. Don't finish your pass.
Make sure it's blue up, one of each. Make sure it's blue.
Oh!
Vincent is working alone, apparently.
Behind me is the main dining room. This is where we eat every night. And I personally think the layout in this dining room is a lot better than on the Star. We have a group of 28. On the Star Princess, they were only able to seat us like basically horizontal. Here they have nice big round tables that we can like sit around and really enjoy each other's company. And I believe my family is currently playing cards in there.
Say hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello. Come and join the play.
The fun things we like to do.
Moving forward from the dining room, there are shops on either side, so if you want to do any shopping or anything like that, there is plenty to do on board. The casino, they'll be happy to take your donations. A photo center, if you want to get any professional photos, they go around the ship and take photos during the day and the night. So if you find a photo that you like, you can pay for it and they'll print it out for you. And the Explorers Lounge, that's where they do a lot of events. Last night we watched a comedy show there, and they are currently just doing a art auction. And we are down on level 5, which is kind of the last floor of the ship that actually has anything for guests. We have a bar over there. This is the piazza area. This is just kind of like the center of the ship, but it is kind of like the congregation area where people like to hang out. And honestly, it's super classy. But there's guest services over here, over there, and I think there's another dining room. I think that's all there is left on the ship. So the only difference between the two dining rooms is the one that we currently go to, it's a set time. We go at 5 o'clock every night. That way we get to know our waiters. This Bordeaux dining room is identical in layout, but it's anytime and you can show up and take your chances. We are now on deck 8 and there is a future cruise center where you can book excursions, future cruises, things like that. This is the library. Most people here are playing cards, but they do actually have a bunch of books that you can check out and read while you're on board. It's just a really cool thing that they have. That's a pretty good games and puzzles. And that wraps up the tour of the ship. There is laundry on board. The Star Princess also had laundry on board, which is really exciting for us because then we don't need to struggle to get laundry done. However, on the Star Princess, there was like 3 times the amount of people and they only had 2 washer dryers on each floor, which did not work out very well. We were waiting for laundry a lot.
A lot. As far as we can tell, the laundromats here on each floor have 3 washers and 3 dryers, and it's $3 USD per load for wash, and then $3 again for dry, which isn't too bad, honestly. The machines were pretty easy to use here. It did the job, so no complaints. Overall, what do you think of the Island Princess?
If it's a straight comparison, I much prefer the Island Princess. There's a lot of features on this cruise ship that the Star just fell flat on. Everybody in our group agrees that this is just more cozy. It's more classic. It's got like a more homey feel to it, and it's just wider. Like overall, there's a lot more thought put into like the common areas and everything like that, so it allows people to congregate and not feel crowded.
Which is weird because this ship is almost half the size of the Star Princess, but yes, it does feel more open. It's definitely got the more old school elegant look to it that Cory already talked about earlier, and at the end of the day, I think, yeah, I prefer the Island Princess too. It's a classier feeling ship, more intimate feeling than the Star Princess, which is big and modern and all that, but just didn't have the same feel to it.
On the Star Princess, it felt like it was just a revenue ship. They crammed a lot of staterooms in without a lot of places for those guests to go, and it showed.
Yeah. At any rate, that's pretty much it. I think we are going to be wrapping up the video here, and tomorrow is going to be our first port day, and we've got I think 5 or 6 of those in a row, so it's going to be a busy few days. So thanks very much for joining us here as we start our 14-day Caribbean cruise on the Island Princess. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up to give us a like, and make sure you subscribe.
And join us in our other videos for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.